There's my voice. Sorry, my cat gets up on my mixer once in a while. So, unfortunately, the whole first half of this was kind of useless and wasted because you guys couldn't hear me. Love that. All right, so in any case, yes, I am here, and we are changing this over into a character based on this sculpture. And you can see I took a prop head, once this lets me move it, and mapped it out with facetool. No, I'm sorry, with Headshot 2 in CC5, Character Creator 5, for those of you who don't know. And that sucks. This whole time I've been talking, and there was no voice. So thank you, my Yank, for letting me know. We're just, as you can see, baking textures now of this. Once it gets done with this, I'll shift back over to the main view. But I sculpted this character on my iPad in Nomad Sculpt because I wanted to take a break from ZBrush and try Nomad Sculpt, and actually I like it a lot for the iPad anyway. And yeah, it's good laying in bed sculpting. I have ZBrush for the iPad, and I actually like the interface of Nomad Sculpt better for iPad sculpting. So anyway, I exported those out this morning, and two different ones, brought it in here, threw it in Headshot, this particular character, and seeing how well it'll match up, if it'll keep me, if it'll look right. And then I'm going to adjust the morphs to the body, go into ZBrush. Obviously I'm going to have to probably smooth some stuff. Obviously the morphs in here to shape the body to be appropriate. It's going to be a very slender female body, and so on. And hopefully it won't be indecent about it. I don't like when it just throws that up on your screen when you don't really want it, because the textures are going to be they're non-human anyway, but you know how it is. It might show some to keep from getting flagged, breasticle tips. And I don't know if it flagged you for that word or not, so figure I'll just not say it. All right, let's see now. We've got, it looks like it did make me the right color to match the head, but it's going to be there we go. Okay, so that is not exactly what we want. I wonder if I should have kept the sculpture of the head size, because you can see the difference here now. I probably should have went with the original size. I don't know if I can go back and say, well, curious, but I would have to do kind of this step of the attach to body. So if we go with keep head size, keep neck shape, I'm going to test it now and do another one. Let's see what happens. Attach to body, female, no mask, and now it's going to take this amount of time again, so we'll generate again. Because I think right now the head just looks like a little mouse head on a human body. We're going to change the size of that anyway. I know that one works, but I'd like to keep that original neck shape if I can. So let's see what happens now. Cool. So it's going to go through its whole thing again. It's going to take a few minutes, and while it does, I may go get my coffee warmed back up. It's not going to take too long, about a few minutes. It seems like it's going to take forever just based on this progress bar, but it gets to about 10% and then just really flies through the rest. So what are you guys all working on if you're watching? What do you want to see? I've got some videos and stuff that have come out recently on Moho. I know you guys like my Moho stuff. There's some series stuff that I put out, in a row, multiples. I am working on finishing editing one. You guys have asked for using raster images with the mesh, and I have made a giant full tutorial of that. And that is, I'm almost done editing that, and then we can put that up. But it's like, geez, at least 2 hours long, might even be 3. It's a long tutorial. But it's broken down in sections of, getting the artwork into Photoshop and cleaning it up, cutting it, whatever. exporting it out the layers, all in one go as a PSD, and then you bring it into Moho, and inside of Moho, take those layers, arrange them properly, turn them each into with the mesh warp applied to each one individually, and then you go back and do all your corrections and so on. And then of course we add the bones, smart bone dial controls, everything, and it's this cool kind of anthropomorphic fat like cat guy that's like tough, kind of medieval looking, that I've done for that. So he's cool. I just need to finish the editing on that, and cool. Yeah. So let me know if you guys think that'd be cool, or what else you may want to see. So here we're about 37% through. Just can't go fast enough. Have you learned any new you were working in Moho, right, Mayank? I know you came along when I was doing also some editing and resolve of the Chupacabra thing, which I still need to get back to and finish. I've got 15 things going on at the same time. Lots of distractions, lots of things that aren't distracting me, but actual work and so on too. Let me know what you think. Hopefully my voice is still coming through. Alright, this looks slightly better, although not perfect either. I'm going to move this over so we have, all this. We're going to go to this mesh to head. This is what we just did. Now we're back in headshot here. Skin type, blah, 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 blah. This is all going to be clean and soft to some degree. Actually, I don't want to change anything, though, now that I think about it. I think it's still doing something. Yeah, let it respond here in a second. It's got the little blue wheel. So back to that. Let's go here. I think head-wise, that's going to be where we're at. Eyes and everything else I'm going to mess with myself. Plus we're going to go in and adjust all these body parts. And I want to make sure that my what would you call it, my normal maps and all that are very, or displacement or whatever we have, are very correct. I wish this would respond. It did swap over to the no mask, which is good, but now we just need to let go so we can continue. Okay, good. Here, soft skin, face mask. I'm not going to worry about the mask, I don't think, just yet, because it looks pretty good. My lighting here is what's really sucking. So let me go here to the scene and turn down or off some of these. I like to turn off the key light often. Top, let's see, this other key, they're just too bright. You see what I'm saying? So much better without those. Let me just touch this so I can turn around it specifically. Let's see, back, key light down. Let's see if that one makes it better. It does. Let's see, and some of these are just in the wrong spot as well, so let's turn off key light up, and then we can look back here. Maybe we'll turn key back on, maybe turn top. The key is what I want. I just want to move it around here if it'll let me real quick, because it's in a not great position. Let's visualize this. I don't want it right here in the front. I'm a fan of the what they call the reverse key. It's very cinematic. So let me just rotate this back some more. I think that's just a little too straight on. Let me just kind of reverse this slightly like this. It works kind of like a bit of a backlight, but it isn't truly from the back. Gives you what they call Rembrandt lighting when you do it correctly. So let me just get this angled a little better here. It's way too bright as well, so it's pretty obvious. Let me move this back here somewhat. I'm going to tilt this around just even a little bit more, and then adjust the brightness of that. I'm trying to get this just to hit this other cheek slightly, so it's not there yet. Now we can rotate around a little more. This isn't a lighting tutorial, So something like this, and then I'm going to really take the brightness of that down because that's just like stupid bright. Not sure why that would be a default with anything. Let me see. Why is that strength so bright on this? So the light, where are you? Modify. Boom, boom. Here we go. It's the multiplier of it. See? Ridiculously bright, like stupid bright. Even our backlight, I think, is pretty darn stupidly bright. So let's go back to scene here and find that. Is it the rim lights that are good, that are bad? They're pretty bright. So let's turn the rim light there. Back in modify, we're going to pull it down some too because it's just a bit too much. That one's okay here. And then the other one, if we can find it in the scene, is going to be left rim. This is going to be it here, the key light, probably. And we'll take that one, I'm sorry, the backlight. Modify it. That doesn't seem to be so bad, but that's not the one I'm looking for. That's another one of those backlights. It's back in scene. I'm just going to pull this up to be up here. And we're going to go with, let's see, the key is okay. It's the top one, isn't it? That's a little bit strong as well. I mean, we can have it, but I think it needs to come down a little. It's going to be like full bore probably. So I'm just going to pull that down a little bit more. And once again, left rim, key, these are off. Left rim at top, key, back. So let me see about the back. That one's the one. I thought that's the one I already had. So back to modify. Now we'll just pull it down a bit more like that. All right, hit J to jump to the face. Also, it's subtle, it's fine, but I almost want it even more pronounced because it just feels. This will happen in face tools. I'm not sure why I'm worried about it in here. And then texture-wise for these eyeballs, we're going to go to probably, I think cornea is what I want, and then I need to find the UV setting probably, or maybe it's the iris I'm looking for. I just want to increase its actual scale, not the pupil scale so much, but the actual iris. Let's see, iris UV radius here. And this will give us the much bigger eyes that we want. We can even lessen the depth of that to make them a little more flat, maybe something like that. I think that's not bad. You can see this ear is a little screwed up, but that's easily fixable, probably. ZBrush wise, I think overall it's not horribly bad. But let's fix this body. This is absolutely wrong. So we're going to go to select that. We're going to go to our morphs here. And let's start working on the entire body. We're going to go full body. We're going to go thin. And just really nail this, knock this down. I'm going to bake this. I think we can go even more. So I'm going to go thin again, like this. Bake that. Now I'm going to go with the chest. I'm going to start narrowing that out. So scale, we can look at front to back. Pull this in, not height wise. We want to go width and depth. So let's start with the depth here, a little bit in. I think that's much more appropriate. Maybe a little less endowment even. The width is also way too wide for me. So we'll just pull that in for this particular character. Better. I think hips now are just way too wide. So let's go with abdomen scale length is what I'm looking for. So something maybe negative 10 at least. Maybe negative 20. So cool. If you've never used a character creator or iClone, they're great for character work, and then you can bring it all over into Blender or Unreal or whatever you want. Width, we're gonna lessen this out more. Add them in depth, we're gonna lessen that as well. I mean, actually that's not too bad where it's at. I don't want it to look, you know, grossly thin. This is just supposed to be kind of a fairy-like creature. Definitely creature though. Let's see, that's probably okay. Let's go back to the chest and do the height of it a little bit, like so. I think that's better, more slender. We'll make the arm length overall a little longer as well, so we'll just kind of do this. We're going to go to the leg length and do the same thing. Leg. We don't want to mess with fatness of it because that's not what we're looking at. And it's kind of a pinched backside, but let's make the hips less wide. So let's checking that in. There we go. Maybe even -50, I think. A little less. So that's not bad. There's the original head down there. We can, of course, get that out of the way. Now the calves, the lower legs, I'm going to make those guys a little more thin. We can do the actual calf itself. Tone we can have, and that's not a problem to bring that up. Let's go ahead and make the hamstrings. We want to go with glutes here because we got no glutes pretty much. The calf scale, I kind of don't want to. I want to make that less, so a little less like that. Little thinner there too. I think that just looks more appropriate, you know, stick-like, you know, is what I'm looking for. But it's not going to hurt, I don't think, to maybe even make the hips a little less wide. So I'm going to go ahead and back up to the top here, and I'm going to bake everything. I'm going to come back down here again to that waist/hips. Abdomen width, we can go even smaller, but then mainly though I want to go with the hip width less. So we can go like that one more time and check the depth on this too, because I think that's fine. Okay, we can bake all that. I'm gonna bake the entire body again, and then I'm gonna probably, we could make the hands a little bigger. It's not gonna hurt. I think that would be a little more appropriate, so I kind of like that look. So I'm gonna go with hands, probably maybe overall scale first, and then we're gonna make the finger length larger. So I'm gonna go finger. None of these should be specialized more also, so I should be able to even sell these guys if I want to in like the Real shop, because they won't require any, you know, none of it will be derivative content, if that makes sense. I'm going to get rid of this original head prop here. I think it looks pretty much the way we wanted it to, I believe. I think it's pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to go to the scene. I'm going to take that original, this prop, where is it at? Prop here, and we can hit delete. That should remove it without any problems. And let's go ahead back and maybe make the feet, they could be maybe more delicate. I don't know. I think they're probably okay. Let's go with the let's see, modify. Let's make the toes longer, maybe right here. So let's just say toe length. There we go. Make those just a little longer. I'm going to go back to the actor then bake it one more time where everything is all good. And then if any other changes now we want to make, we can go into ZBrush and make those. I think I might make her a little less endowed at the top. So we're going to go to chest and just kind of look at depth, collarbone. Here we go. We want, nope, other way. Nope, other way. Let's go with so scale A, we're gonna go like -20 maybe. A little more fairy-like. I think that works much better. Okay, maybe even bring height up a little more, but I'm not sure. Let's see. There's weight. So many things for this. Side, compress, pectoral, height. That's probably what we want. Something a little bit higher up like that. That works. Okay, cool. So everything else is probably going to be just like sculpted in ZBrush. I think that works for this particular character. I'm going to go to the actor level here and bake everything again one last time, and leaving the clothing on here. I'm going to go back to content and I'm going to just save it off in my folder here of content. So under character, under custom, this is going to be fine with her selected. We're going to say save avatar. We're going to call this very new, I guess, as an actor avatar, and say OK. And cool. Now if we want to, we can start a new one with the goblin guy that I've redone, or that I've made. I'm curious to see where that one's going to go. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. And we're going to start a new one here. We're going to bring in that character. So we got to import a piece of geometry, burger shovels here. And we're going to do this as a prop first, and we're just going to keep everything and convert. They have these moments like this where it actually takes time to process, so I apologize. Two meshes like to subgroups, sure, because we don't want it to be all one. This is, once this is done, this is the burger shovels mesh that I created. Hopefully this is not coming in at the wrong angle, but this is the sculpt for that. It's not bad. This has not processed all the detail yet, apparently. And we're going to go in here to our mesh to head. I'm going to go to headshot 2, or am I going to go to mesh to head? I'm not sure. So mesh start head generation based on this guy. And hopefully, like I said, oh yeah, we have to select one mesh. So let's go to the scene. Let's go to this here. We're going to go with, we have eye and upper lid. Let's see which is which. So this one is the one we want. These are the eyeballs. So we're going to go with this guy. And we're going to go to mesh to head, I think. Is it mesh to head or is it headshot 2? Thank you. And we're going to go with start head generation. And eventually it'll ask us about the, the texture, which kind of texture we want. We're just going to use the, because this is all painted with, not like a texture map, but it was all like, trying to think of the name of it, where you have textures on the vertexes. So I think what's going on here is the head is not in the right direction. I'm not sure why it would export it out in the wrong direction, but it's probably because I didn't use like a head model when I started the sculpture. So we'll have to figure out that. I might have to go back in here and change the direction of this dude's head. Yeah, see, it is in reverse. Okay, so we're gonna have to probably start this process again. So back in here, we're going to rotate this. I'm going to go back into modify, and I have to tell it, the arrangement here. So we don't want to smooth anything, blah, blah, blah. This is just a prop. So let me see. I'm just trying to figure out how to, there we go, change the rotation and everything else. So let's look at the front camera. So front, right here. We need to take this guy and we need to rotate the pivot for one. So edit pivot, I think is what we need to do. And I'm going to rotate this pivot around. So rotate X, Y, Z. I believe that the up and down is what I need. So I'm going to just rotate. In that, we're going to go back to 0, maybe, or 360, or 180, I'm sorry. So we go 180, that'll flip our pivot, and that's what we want. And then now we're going to come out of edit pivot, I believe, and we need to rotate the actual mesh. Now we have to might have to go into the mesh and spin this on its thing, but we'll see. I'm going to rotate this around. Oh, wrong thing. We need to jump back out of edit pivot. Thank you. And now we're going to go back into moving the actual thing. So let me just grab the rotate here. That's at 180. That would be our pivot. I don't want to use to zero this out. Does that work? I think that works. Now that we have that pivot edited, we should be good to go. Okay, so back to mesh to head. I'm going to, let's go back to headshot 2, start head generation again, and we're going to say yes. We're going to, oh, I need to pick the thing again. So we want what, upper lid? Yep. And we're going to go mesh to head. Hopefully it can calibrate the camera. Sorry, headshot 2. Hopefully it can calibrate the camera this time correctly, because that pivot being backwards, it's not going to recognize a face and, you know, all that. I think there's a little AI going on there, but I'm not sure. It looks okay at the moment, like it's trying to do it. So rotating the pivot around 180 degrees is now looking at the face and not on the back of the camera. So it should be able to calibrate it well enough. No, it did not. Okay. Cool. So this may still be backwards. Only in a live stream. You know, that's when the problems happen. So yeah, transfer them into textures, please. I mean, hopefully it'll be right, but I don't think it's going to be. I think we're going to still have the same problem. Nope, we're good. Okay, cool. All right, so now we need to tell it, hey, you need to, you know, to work. I'm going to also make sure, I'm going to turn off sync camera. I'm going to move this guy closer and then sync camera again. So, you know, yeah, I guess they don't work that way. Cool. This ought to be entertaining then, trying to do this where I'm zoomed in here but not here. You can always turn this off, but then maybe have problems. But when I turn this back on, that'll resync that in the weird way that it does. Cool. Let's go ahead now and do 35 points. I wish we could just up that to like 500 points if we wanted to, but we're going to go 35 points where it's going to try and get everything as best as it can. And now let's see, this is going to be kind of here, kind of here, and kind of here. We'll do the same thing over to the side. Oops, I zoomed in, my bad. Come on, what are you doing? I'm trying to pan this over. There we go. I keep forgetting which controls are what because I'm used to 15 different programs. So, okay, there's that. This one's going to be slightly to the out of the center of the eye, somewhere here, and then, of course, somewhere here. 7, 8, 9 are going to be at the top of the eyelids, so real careful here. 7, 8, 9. As close to that as I can be. I can see my sculpture is not as detailed as my last one was. And 10 is going to be at the bottom here. 11, 12, 13 are going to be the opposite of those. 11, 12, and 13. And 14 is going to be here, I hope, once again. 15 is going to be right in the center, right about here. 16 will be the tip of the nose. 17 here. 18 here. And then we're going to get 19 at the bottom. Like I said, I wish, I mean, I guess I could go in and probably turn off lighting by going into my medium mode or something like that, probably, right? No. because within here it's not going to affect that. So close enough, I guess, right here. 19, we want 20 being the edge of the mouth, the corner of the mouth, so that's probably going to be right there. 21, center the lip line is. 22, corner of the mouth here. Crazy process. 23 is going to be bottom right here. So we need 24, which is going to be, wait, 24 is going to be the chin, which will be you, mon frère. And then we're going to go with 25, which is going to be the top of this ear where it meets the head. So about, I guess about here. 25, this is where the guy meets here. 26, 27 is going to be the arc of the ear, the tip of the ear, right there. These are going to be the other side. 28, 29, 30. So 28, 29, 30. And then 31, I believe, is at the top of the head. So 31 and 32 are up here in the back also. So 31, it's going to be about right here. 32 is going to be like the skull, pretty much the skull base. I like to look at it anyway, just to kind of remember where that really should be. That kind of like that knot in the head right there. So boom. And then we got the 34, 33, 34, and 35. So 33 is going to be where the chin meets the rubber meets the road, where the chin meets the throat. So pretty much there, kind of. So, and then 34 and 35 show us the kind of our start points, the lips here. 34, 35 is going to be kind of about there. Sounds good. Cool. Then we move on to the head chin. This guy may or may not work, just depending, because his stuff is pretty extreme. Certain parts of it. The neck's going to be definitely kind of a weird thing, because this isn't a thinner neck, it's a thicker neck. These cheeks are huge. I mean, it should work, but it may totally screw up. I expect a possibility of that. If you guys are watching, say hey. I've seen there's been quite a lot of people watching this morning, which is always good for the channel and whatnot. Like, subscribe, and all the stuff, please. There's a lot more videos based on stuff like this. 2D animation as well. I make audio plugins. I do all kinds of stuff. So I don't like the channel to be completely just this mix of things, but it's really what I do here at my own company. So changed the name from my name Sean Darling to Fableforge Studio. I've had other names before throughout the years. One main one for a long time was Griffin's Egg. I have a Red Spectre, which is mostly my audio stuff. But yeah, so this isn't 1000% right. It's a little wacky. I kind of had a feeling it may be. I'm going to go with the area affected being the entire thing. We're going to go to the refine mesh, and this is where we can sort of work on how it projects the head to the mesh over here and so forth, and makes it a little more correct. Right now it looks pretty weirdly flattened out. I think it's trying to fit the neck and whatnot to it also. We'll see. If nothing else, you know, I can somehow fix this in ZBrush and or facetools. But right now we're wrapping this guy essentially and asking it to make a miracle for us. So I see you saying yeah, but I'm not sure what you're saying yeah to. Alright, you can see here where things are working and where they're not. I'm going to go first of all with project and really try to get this stuff to find its way here. You can see the amount of problems this can kind of cause. Right now it's having some issues trying to project that out. Not sure how well it's going to work at all at this point, but if we keep at it, it may eventually work. This is one of those extreme cases that I like to try and do and figure out what's working and what's not and why. I'm gonna also go to keep borders and turn that off and see if we can get those to work better here too. Sometimes the borders are pretty limiting for the shape, because yeah, and this may not work. Like I said, it's got a horrible neck shape. It's just not so far doing a very good job getting this all puffed up into the ears. I really hope we're doing this symmetrically. It is, thank goodness. Symmetrical, I'm not sure which word is the right one, but alright, just getting this more and more puffed out. I think we might have to do this without the neck and then just have it create the neck after the fact, because I don't know if there's a way in here in this that it will fix it, because it's so close to the front, I guess. So this could totally be a bust as far as that. And all I have to do is tell it, just, you know, don't use the neck. So I'm gonna get this rest of this as close to where it can be, at least. It's acting a little odd, but let's see also if I can do the radius a bit bigger. Let's get a little more stuff done in less time. I think that's all dependent on computer processing power, how much it can handle, you know, in one sweep over the brush. It looks as though it may be giving us some issues, but this may be some problems here. I did turn off that keep borders for the, hopefully it didn't screw up the mouth or anything, but trying to make something decent out of it. We'll see if it works or not. I don't want to sweep over the eyes yet, because I want to make sure that those borders don't shift unless I want them to. Alright, let's swing back around. I'm going to have to fix the eyes. It looks like there's some issues there. This just might not be a good candidate for this. We'll see. There are some steps I can still take to try and save anything that might not feel savable. I'm going to turn down my this. See if I can get in here a little more than I have. We can also use this smooth to adjust some of this out, because it looks like some of it's been folded a bit, which we do want to smooth some. Changing your angle helps here too, because sometimes it can't really see and or feel. See, this will relax those back out a little bit, hopefully fixing some of this mess that it's sort of creating when it squashes all these polygons together when we do the projection. So it's really got a mess working here, though, that's for sure. I think we're smoothing it pretty well, though. I think that kind of helped quite a bit. And the back is really obviously the major issue. See if I can take care of any of this from this angle first. So I like to go through and just kind of smooth some of this if it gets wonky. Sort of relaxes the mesh on top of the area it's projecting. As you see, some of these get sort of folded over, and I'm just trying to get that to sort of undo that before we go too much farther. And it's more of a process than, you know, I want it to be at this point, but this is probably the worst case scenario that I really have had with this tool. So you guys get to watch it, see if I can fix it or if we're just doomed. But I think I might be able to do something with it. We'll see. As long as these polys keep moving, then I can keep smoothing and possibly affect them in the right way. When they stop moving, we have to change angles and then figure out if there's something we could do from over here and so on. Smooth out this ear. I feel it's got some chunkiness, folds or something happening there. I'm not exactly sure, I'll be honest with you, how this is going to play out. We'll see. And I'm just trying to get something to not look so bad. This does not have keep borders on, so it's kind of surprising me these aren't moving more than they are. I'm going to try and go from the inside, see if that makes any difference here. Kind of not seeing those, so I can't grab them. Let's see about you. Yes, I just want to cut all this stuff away, to be honest with you. I'm going to turn on keep borders and see if these will try to keep, see if it'll jump back to that. To where the borders are supposed to be. I'm not sure if that will work, or if it's just going to go back to being messed up, like in reverse, if that's going to make any difference. But yeah, this may not work with the neck at all, and sadly the neck is like a big part of the head and face shape. So just trying to get this to maybe relax a little by just wiggling and wiggling and wiggling until it does something. I mean, you can see it doing something. It's trying to flatten itself out, which is good. But how long is that going to take? I don't know. These have to sort of relax to a point that they are truly not on top of each other anymore, though, if we're actually going to do this. You know, another day, though, of happy that I'm probably not in the Epstein files. Always something to celebrate if you're not. Hopefully none of you are. If you are and you're here, you're either a really lucky or really bad, or really, really lucky that you're still here, I guess is what I meant. Because either the people in those are either really bad people, or they got really lucky and they're still here. Okay, so I'm going to turn off keep. Really? I'm going to turn off keep borders, and I'm going to see if maybe now I can get this to relax more. Yeah, these edges are just going to be a nightmare. I don't think they're going to work. That's a strong possibility. Okay. So let's go back to project now. And I might go back to project keep borders, so I think that's, or remove borders. So we're gonna have keep borders on so I can do the eyes and just really get these guys in here. That's one thing I did not do yet. As you can see, they're taking the shape much better that way the nose and everything. I was just really trying to make sure that stuff was going to be tightly fit as possible. So I've got the borders, keep borders turned on. We're in symmetry mode, so I'm trying to just make sure all of this is good. And then I'm going to turn off keep borders when we go around to the back here again. Just want to make sure all of this was nicely projecting in the right way. Obviously the edges are going to be wrong until we try to fix them. I don't know that I can. Like I said, this is in a position here where it's pretty bad on the edge. Now I'm going to turn off keep borders and try to take this project back through. So I guess that's not going to work. So we might have to just lose the neck because these are not going to do their thing. The relaxing is going to move a bit. Well, I'm going to be hopeful. I'm trying. This is very, very hard. Let's turn the intensity up here somewhat though and see if maybe this will just help to say try harder. So we have our keep borders turned off. I'm just gonna work these a little more, maybe. You know, you never know. Yeah, you mean the goblin here is afraid to release all of his polygons, or no? I know what you mean. Yeah, where do you live, my ink? I am curious. Okay, this is doing some good. Okay. I turned the intensity way up. We'll see. Ooh, that did some good. Let's just keep working. Maybe we're going to get lucky. Where do you live, my ink? What country? You got me curious. India. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm curious. What do you think of the President of the United States? I'm curious on your opinion. And maybe I should have said, what do you think of Donald Trump? That's probably a better way to put it. I don't ever talk politics, I guess. Not something I typically do professionally, or, you know, it's not a political channel, right? I'm not really that political of a person, but, you know, I got my opinions, I suppose. Man, these things are giving me some trouble. It seems they are wrestling a little bit better than they were. I'm going to pull this around, try to get from another angle now. And don't worry, you won't offend me. I'm not easily offended, if that's what you're worried about. Yeah, I'll help you with that. He's an idiot. And I'll tell you, anybody with a brain here in this country does not support him. So everything that's happening overseas and all that stuff right now, that's not us. There are the crazy people that live here that do support him, but they're very few in comparison to those of us who think he's an idiot. And, you know, if you have any friends over there that are in any way in danger or suffering because of stuff going on here that he's doing, I don't apologize for him because it's not me, but I'm still sorry because, yeah, most of the people here absolutely are not part of this and do not agree with it. And for the moment, we're still allowed to say so, but who knows how long that'll last. We used to be completely free, or at least we used to think we've always been a free country and you can say what you want, but your channel can get shut down. Your who knows how long they can take to come to your house, you know, like some other places, right? And yeah, not real happy with the state of things here myself. And I tell you what, as much as we believed we were like the best country in the world, we're not. That's political rhetoric, man. I do like my country as much as the next person loves their country, but that's because I live there. I want it to be a good country, but it does not mean I support what the people in charge are doing at all. And it's funny, you're right. I think he is a crazy guy with a laughing emoji. Well, that's as polite as you can put it. Yeah, true. Crazy doesn't cut it. He cannot speak in public without making ridiculous, stupid statements that make no sense. He says the goofiest stuff, and then he does really, really irresponsible, horrible things. And a lot of people lose their lives and everything else for it. So, yeah, it's awful. I don't want to say too much, of course. I'm trying to get monetized, but, you know, I don't want monetization to combat, you know, to be in competition with my morals. I'll tell you exactly what I think, for real. I will not lie. If I get shut down for saying that guy's an idiot, I'll continue to say it. Your government there, you're irritated with them in India. I don't even know anything about the government in India, you know, I really don't. We don't hear a lot of things, I think, that go on in the world, even though we think we have freedom, you know, of the press and all this other kind of stuff, and we hear all the things that are, I think we're heavily filtered here, thinking we know everything, but all the people here think what we hear is all the truth, but we hear a very small amount of the truth, and we're led to believe a lot of other countries are just bad people or are third world, you know, less than us and poor and evil and everything else too. So, you know, who knows what's real. I do not believe most of what I hear online or the news or anything is real. I don't even watch the news anymore because it's just like watching a comedy show. It's like lies. You know, we only hear what we're allowed to hear, even though we think we have the most freedom. We absolutely don't. You know, in fact, a lot of people here in America, I think, are probably saying, "Somebody from the outside, please help us." This guy is not a good guy. And I'm not like liberal or Democrat or Republican. I don't affiliate that way. I just stand back and try to make an informed decision or a true, you know, I try to see what's really going on, and it's insanity is what it is. All right, anyway, I'm still trying to sort out these polygons that just do not want to fix, and I think I'm gonna have to lose the net because I can see at the bottom it's trying to close itself up, and that's not ever going to join right. So going back to project real quick one last time just to see if this helps or hurts. Just gonna, yeah, it looks like this isn't going to fix things, so I'm gonna go back and just go to attach to body and see what happens. We're gonna go with male on this, and we got neck, no mask, type 1. We might have to do this twice. I want the head shape, so I'm not gonna do that, but it's the neck, and I don't want to be only face because I'm gonna lose, you know, ears. I'm just gonna go, and if we have to redo it, we're gonna redo it, but I'm just gonna do it. Let's just generate and see what happens. I know the neck's gonna be really bad. Hopefully we can do something to fix it. Either that, or I have to go back and do a character without a neck or something, you know, and then build the neck or sculpt the neck in ZBrush. But it'd be a shame because I don't want to have to redo the, you know, the ears and everything else. That would be ridiculous. No, I know it's powerful, but I think it's powerful in almost the bad way now. You know, it seems to me that the idiot that you know what I'm talking about is going around whining and crying like a baby and not getting what he wants and demanding all kinds of things and taking over countries and territories and starting wars that none of us here want. I can tell you most of the people in the United States absolutely do not agree with him. He's a dictator and decides these things for everyone, and we don't feel that way. So please don't hate most of the people here because of what one idiot who has all the control is doing. Sure. It asked me, it said something about the body and head being not matching, so yeah, sure, fix it, and then I'll readjust it, I guess, after the fact. Hopefully that will work. I think we're gonna have problems just because this neck is going across a border where this headshot 2 doesn't like it to. It tries to match up when it's like human-like, but this is different, you know. I probably should have brought in a full body, which is what I might have to do, is make this guy a body and bring it in, and then go through the process of adding the facial expressions and stuff manually, like with a facial profile. If you know anything about this program, you can do those things too. I'm just trying it with the headshot because it's, you know, what it is. But for this guy, I might have to actually sculpt him the rest of his body and then bring that in and then give him the rigging and stuff from within here. We'll see. But you have to add on all those cool expressions and stuff manually and separately. Give it a profile and then tell it where the eyes are, tell it where, you know, stuff like that. Facetools is really good at helping that kind of stuff, but not entirely, because there's a whole bunch of morphs that, you know, won't get included if they are all manual. So no, Trump's government is very bad. So like I say, hopefully nobody hates all the American people because of him and the people who follow him, because that's not everybody. There's a lot of fear here because of people like him, though. It says even the good people are afraid of other people now. What's that? Let me check. Okay. Alright, so it's going to put this on a regular male body, and it's probably going to look horrible. I can see already the head was really big. That's why it had that problem. And, ooh, that looks better than I expected it, actually. The back might be totally messed up. Yeah, it kind of is. But this I can work with in ZBrush and or whatever. It looks really weird. But let's try. Now, I'm noticing all of my detail sculpting is kind of gone. Which, in a way, I partially expected, but I kind of expected more than that. It's not great, but I can work with it. We'll have to obviously adjust the body greatly. So let's go ahead and get rid of. You can see the detail of the head is kind of just not as good as it could be. So I'm going to come up here, look at my settings for the head, skin, head, and we're going to go to the normals here, and let's see about bringing the normals up, because I can't really see a lot of that, and there's some weird stuff going on here. Well, let's go strength on the normals and see if that helps. Okay, that definitely does help. All right, not horrible. Doing stuff like what I'm about to do here does help. So like the micro normals will help getting this. They look okay, the micro normals. We'll just increase their strength. You can see as that goes away and comes back. That helps a little bit. The roughness, you know, we can go with the micro roughness scale. This is going to give you, you know, uber shiny or not. We can go into the advanced and say exactly, you know, what the nose and the mouth are here. Nose is always a little bit more, mouth is always a little bit more as well. That's the roughness scale. We'd want that a little more kind of like this. So I can live with that. It's not the best. We can always come in here though and give him the better eyes and all the stuff. It looks like there's some interesting stuff happening here with the mesh though. I'm not sure what and why that is, but I will take care of that in ZBrush, and especially all those micro wrinkles and whatnot. But for now, I'm going to go into the body shaping here, and I wonder if we use this actor mixer. We're going to use current. I'm going to see if we can give him a different body shape based on this little goblin guy that's in here, but keep his head. So we might be able to work him a little better. I'm gonna, you know, he'll be brought into facetools and all that and fixed anyway. But as far as all his details, I just have to do it manually, a little more manually. But we'll see if this little goblin character, this Gibro guy, I can just use his body but not anything at the head. We shall see. It's just gonna take a second. What do we got lunch-wise? What do we got for eating something wise?
I could start dinner.
Well, what?
I can either do spaghetti, not spaghetti, or meatballs with gravy and mashed potatoes.
Just spaghetti.
Huh?
Spaghetti.
Do the spaghetti.
Yeah. All right, so let's see now. I don't want to change his head, so I'm going to go to body, and we definitely want to go with a thinner body. So let's see. How do I? Okay, start mixing. I don't know why I didn't have that up by default. But I'm going to move over here. Let's see what this is doing. It's just making him smaller. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Okay, well that's better. I don't know if that's shorter or what. That's fine. It's doing weird stuff, I think, based on the fact that it is what it is. I'm just gonna go here to the, what is this here now? Is this gonna give me more or less definition here? The musculature. So we don't want all of this, just something more like wiry. We're gonna go to character now because we don't want the head, but I'm gonna just make sure this isn't gonna change. Yeah, see, it's changing his head. We don't want that. I don't want to add to that. So revert that part. And then we're going to come over here to the body. And I want to just do this, I think, to start with. And I'm just going to say good to go. We'll just, you know, be done with that. Turn that off. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that completely. That is the problem. I mean, if these old guys with money wanna go play chess, go do it somewhere, whatever, you know. But leave us out of it. Leave all of us out of it, please. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of this, And I'm going to start now working on making this a little fat, squat, funky looking dude. The reason why he's hard to see is because the lights are much higher up. So I'm going to see about where those are real quick and try to move these. I might have to up his entire scale because I don't even know how big he is right now, but let's just go with the modify, and we're going to go with this. I'm going to just use the I don't think there's an overall scale there. I will probably have to do this here, which I don't need. I think that's all fine. I'm going to do a smooth mesh though, start with on him. And then we're going to go up to, let's make sure we have foot contact. And then what was I going to do? Oh yeah, back to the lights here in the scene. I'm just going to take these lights and pull them like lower to where we can see what the heck's going on with him, because I'm going to make sure we can see all the lights as well, just like this. Too many lights though, there's we don't need all that. These are off, which is fine. So the key we're going to pull downward. You can see it's not even hitting him. So first things first, we'll just pull this down. And you know, it's not unpatriotic or un-American to say that I don't support the person in office. That's supposed to be our right, I've thought. Who knows what rights are anymore? I don't think anybody here really knows what that means these days. Alright, so this may or may not be too bright, so let me take this now, this left rim, which is this guy. We're going to pull this down. And then what else we got? The key, the backlight needs to be brought down or angled down at least. There we go. We're going to hit J. We can see kind of what we're dealing with here. It's not as good looking as a character as he was before, but you know, he's usable. I'm going to make him much fatter though, because this guy, his name is Burger Shovels, and he's based on a really bad fat guy I used to know. For real. So let's see. Modify. Morphs. I'm going to go with actor. Let's go with body. I'm going to say fat. Fat A. No, let's go with fat B. Let's go with arms fat. Legs fat. Foot fat is fine. Hand fat maybe a little more. Let's move this down. Just see. Fat tune. Nope. Let's go now with the shoulders could be less. So let's go ahead and make these smaller. Because I don't want to make him strong. I want to make him look gluttonous, you know. He's got to be gluttonous. So let's go, is there fit or muscular or something like that? What would be the word? Tone. Let's just go with full body tone. Let's go body tone. And we're going to go -50 on that to see, to start with. -50. Enter. Okay, that's a little better. Arm. Let's see what we got here. Length. Strong. Let's go with fat. We got thin. Old. Let's see what old can do for us. We don't want to be sinewy. We just want to be fat. Bicep scale. Tricep scale. Elbow scale. Wrist scale. They can be kind of thicker. Wrist bone scale. And not worried about that. Let's just bake the body here to start with, what we're at. See, full body, base neutral. Let me turn up the neutral male just to see what happens here. No, I kind of like this, but then we'll go back and we'll adjust all the stuff. So this chest scale, like I said, this is supposed to be fat. We're gonna worry about this back here in a second, but the chest scale, chest depth, we'll get that going. I'm gonna go with my abdomen and so forth. So breast scale, this guy should have some man boobs, for sure. Maybe not that portion. The weight, it's just gonna kind of hang them, so that's not cool. Let's go with his back now. Maybe the back depth should come out to start with. I'm gonna definitely have to pull this part of the mesh out. The back muscle scale, nah, he's fat. Spine depth, we don't want that deeper. Back lower depth, we won't want that deeper. We're gonna go like, let me go with the waist here. Abdomen scale, we want to start popping that out. This is gonna be probably like 500. Let's go 400 just to be funny, and that's definitely better. It's a little wide, but let's go with the depth now. Okay, that could probably come out to at least 200. Yeah. Scale length, maybe that is a little bit much. Let's go with 250 on that, just to get him starting to be puffed up. No abs, so no contour needed. Width, tone, more like lack of. Muffin top for sure. This guy wasn't just a muffin eater. He would eat 5, 6 burgers at the same time. And then try to get me to eat 2. I'm like, dude, I can only eat 1. He wanted me to be fat, which I think is hilarious, because I'm like, no, not going to do it. There we go. Much better. Much better. It looks a lot more like him now. Let's go with another, maybe like that. I'm going to have to sculpt this stuff. D, maybe pregnant. Sadly, they all work for him. Okay, we're going to have to work on the chest now, being a little wider. So chest scale, rib cage, chest width. I just want to make sure the shoulders are real slack, like he's, you know, just a weak man. Shoulder width A. Yeah. Shoulder top height for sure, down. You know, not a good man, not a good person. He thought he was, but yeah, not even close. Outer curve, depth. Yeah, we'll just make him weak and horrible. So let's go ahead and bake these. I know I'm going to be sculpting the heck out of this stuff, but let's go back into the, I'm going to go back into the waist. The abdomen length, I think I want to make it shorter. So this is kind of fine, but the no definition in the waist. The depth we can make a little less, because that's a little crazy. The width, I don't know. No, we'll bring that up. Bake all that. I think he's a little wide in these scale things, so a little more like that for the moment. And we're going to bake that. We need to get down to the hips and glutes, so we'll say glutes. Let's give him a bigger backside, because you know, this guy was like good 400 pounds, you know, in my opinion. Also the back here, we need to kind of make the lower back depth more out. So let's say negative 50, so we push that out to, we need to get the back of the butt out though. So waist, we have a waist depth. It's an abdomen depth. I think we've already pushed that one pretty too far. Maybe even a little less on that just because. We don't need contour. We need behind, this back part of the back. So belly, lower, relax. We already got all those. Navel out would be kind of funny. Hip, I think that's what I'm looking for, is the back of the hips. So let's go with hip scale. That's better. Hip bone scale, sure, why not? Well, maybe not. It's gonna make it weird. Don't need a lilac line. Crest. Not really gonna see that here. Love handles, maybe see those. It's really the hip width and stuff that's really gonna make the difference here. B, yeah, for sure. Groin scale, well, we'll make that probably really tiny. No, this is just going to be fatty tissue there. Let's see this whole glute thing. Really want to get this, so like glute depth or something, upper depth, maybe that's what we're looking for. Yeah, that's helps for sure. Lower, sure, why not? Muscle tone, not necessary. Crease width, sure, why not? Height, let's make that lower, or I don't know. We'll start there. Leg length we're going to make shorter for sure, I think. So let's go with something kind of like, well, maybe like that. I think we should make his upper, the chest height lower. In fact, we can go like negative 100 on that probably. Just get that knocked down there. Maybe even the belly scale height, chest scale, something like that. Width, depth, front depth. Let's see what we got. Now there's all these ridiculous details for those parts of the anatomy that are just like, really? Hip, glute, leg. Where's my belly and stuff here? Waist, I guess. Yeah. Abdomen scale. That's probably fine. Width. Yeah, but the length is really what I'm kind of looking for. So negative 50 on it just to see. Yeah, this is hilarious, isn't it? I agree with you. Oh, negative 50. Let's go with 50. Bring that up even more. I want him to be this little squat, ugly, gross guy. Leg length is still a little too long, I think, at this point. Let's go with leg length. More like this. I do like long, arms like so. I'm going to bake this for now. We're going to go back and we're going to smooth all this stuff and sculpt this stuff in nicely. Let's see, arms, length, strong, fat, more again, better. Let's go with legs now and make those fatter again too. Let's go pull the tone out. I'm trying to make this guy I'm trying to insult this guy as much as possible. Let's see, lower leg scale, calf scale, sure, calf scale B. This will all be smoothed out though and sculpted. This is just to get the original kind of proportions here. Outer curve a little bit, I guess. Inner curve a little bit. Inner scale. Let's see here, ankle bone height and inner scale, ankle tone less. In fact, we can go negative 50. This guy had cankles from hell. We might put the legs a little closer together, so Let me see here. Hip. Length for sure. The scale I don't mind. It's the separation. Hip width. Let's just do like -50 on that and see. Just a little closer together in the legs, I guess. Like I said, all this will be sculpted. Now I want his hands ridiculous to some degree because this is why I call him burger shovels. Arm, let's see if that hand is in there. Hand is here. I'm just going to make them big. And this is kind of who this, he's just shovels in the burgers. So, that's a start. So we're going to have to bring this into ZBrush for sure. I'm going to make his feet wider as well. So foot, scale, let's go with length, tone, depth, fat, you know, imagine that. Thin, old, toe length. Do we have a foot length? Foot length, we're going to go a little shorter like that. And I think that's alright. Maybe make his chest a little wider. Let's do that. Chest width feels a little too narrow up there. Maybe even go 200 on that. That's better. All this gets sculpted though. This is awful right now. It's not going to look this bad by any means. So maybe make his arm length shorter for sure. In fact, let's go 100. Oops. There we go. Just bake that, and then maybe even a little shorter on the arm length. I want him to be kind of ridiculous. So -100 again. Maybe even -200. I think it's funnier. He looks like a fool. He's a goblin. I mean, a goblin that's goblin burgers. He's only got 4 fingers. What's up with that? How'd that happen? 3 fingers and a thumb? Where's my pinky? There is no pinky. I don't know how that happened. I've never seen that. Let's go with hand to just see if there's a finger count that I missed, because excuse me, because there's no fingers. I mean, there's no pinky. Works for me. Let's make the finger joint scale bigger. Knuckle scale bigger as well. Like that. Let's make his finger length shorter. Much better. Still think his legs are a little bit too long. So let me go with leg length. So pull this down a little more. Yeah. Now if he walked around in Walmart pulling up his pants every 5 seconds because they wouldn't stay up, that's better. Closer. Alright, we need to fix this in the back here. So we're going to come up here to the actor. We're going to bake everything. Then I'm going to go to I'm going to see if I can get away with some of this in here before I go to ZBrush, but I'm going to go to my modify and come over here. We're going to go into edit mesh and see what I can sort out here. We're just going to sort of smooth this out with sculpting. I'm going to start with smooth, see what happens. Might have to actually pull this outward like this, but it's going to bunch it together, so I got to be careful with that. So if we go back to smooth, and make sure we're on mirror X, and just sort of see if I can relax any of this out. I might have to literally go into, like I said, into ZBrush for this though, because this is going to be much more difficult trying to do it this way, where ZBrush will be like super quick and easy, to be honest with you. Yeah, this is going to take forever and not do the job as well, because all this has to kind of come out and be relaxed out and resculpted. So what I'm going to do is just come out from there. We are going to go over into ZBrush with this dude now. Cool. I'm going to go eat something. Thanks for watching, guys. And I will talk to you shortly. There'll be more videos soon. And if you're enjoying what you see, let me know. Get your friends to like and subscribe. You like and subscribe if you haven't already. And you know, let's get that idiot out of office. All right, talk to you later. Bye.